You may have been told there is little or no help available for your degenerative disease. Or perhaps the treatments being offered to you are simply not acceptable. You may have thought there was no more help. The Alivizatos Greek treatment, empowering the body's immune system, returning choice to the individual. Please come with us as we learn about this world-renowned treatment from researchers, from doctors, and actual Alivizatos patients themselves. We'll learn how it works, we'll learn where it is located, but most of all, we'll discover the hopes and successes of those people who have seen it work in their lives.
My name is Jan Isaacson, and I'm from Eau Claire, Wisconsin. I began my cancer journey back in 1976 when I was diagnosed during a routine hysterectomy with 2 tumors on a ovary. The one tumor was uterine cancer, the other one was unidentifiable, and my slides were sent to Boston. They still could not find out which kind it was, so I was given an intensive treatment of Cytoxan. They put me in the hospital for 5 days. After that it was injections, and I ended up on the oral Cytoxan for altogether 5 years. Last July I was diagnosed with bladder cancer. Research has shown that the Cytoxan that I was on is now causing bladder cancer. That's when I had surgery. 2 tumors were found in the bladder, and I headed for Mexico to the Alivizatos treatment. I had heard about it, I was scared, came down here and was absolutely amazed at the warmth, support, caring that I received in the IB hospital.
Our patients keep confirming what healthcare activists have been telling us all along.
After 40 years of advanced cancer therapy in the USA and an expenditure of well over $40 billion on the so-called war on cancer that began in the Nixon years, the 5-year survival rate in cancer in the USA for cancer spread from one site to another has not meaningfully increased in all this time and still hovers around 9 or 10%.
But these stats from actual Alivizatos cancer case studies show a much more hopeful picture. And the radically different results Alivizatos patients receive are due to a whole new way of approaching degenerative conditions.
But we in Mexico, and we meaning many different approaches, have long viewed cancer as a total body disease wherever you might find the primary. And we don't frankly care too much where the primary is. Total body disease. And I'm delighted to hear just the last 3 testimonies on this one particular therapy, because we're seeing what many metabolic doctors, and they used to be called quacks, were saying all along. Cancer is not hanging out there by itself. It's always connected with something else. Glucose dysfunction, high blood pressure, obesity, prediabetes, hypoglycemia. And when we hear that people take a metabolic program, such as the various elements in the Alivizatos serum, we're seeing a total attack on illness, not an attack on a tumor. When we hear that high blood pressure is responding to this therapy, heart disease is responding to this therapy, immunological diseases of all kinds are responding to this therapy, we know that there's a treatment that is advancing a person into wellness, not illness. And that ultimately is what it's all about, putting someone from an illness stage into a wellness stage so that everything that's wrong with them. You heard Dan talking about hearing better, seeing better, feeling better, being better, not just because a tumor is being affected, but because the entire metabolism is being adjusted so that he's into a better state of wellness.
I'm Sue Gentry, and I'm a cancer patient from Pensacola, Florida. I was recently, 5 months ago, diagnosed with gastrointestinal neoplasm. I have cancer of the stomach and the esophagus. I have to say that 5 months ago I was very, very ill and had been diagnosed with several different things before they finally came to the conclusion and diagnosed me with cancer. The prognosis was definitely not good. At that time, because I had experienced cancer situations with family, very close family members, and had lost members of my family to cancer, I refused the orthodox treatments of radiation, surgery, and chemotherapy in the United States. It was a very hard decision to make. My family was very supportive, however. I was very blessed about a month and a half ago to hear about the Alivizatos treatment. At that time, I made a few phone calls. There were people back in the States that were very skeptical, saying, you don't want to come to Mexico. You need to stay and do whatever the doctors tell you. I guess I am one of the few people, most of the people that come here, they come here as a last resort, and this is their last hope. This is my first and my last hope. It's the only alternative that I would consider. And I have to tell everyone that may be a prospective patient that since I've been here in the last 3 weeks, the ill effects that you experience with the orthodox treatment of the toxic treatments that they offer in the United States, you do not experience that here. You don't experience the ill effects. If anything, there are a lot of benefits. My pain has been reduced. My appetite has increased. When I came here, I could eat very little. I had lost 22 pounds in 3 months. I was eating baby food and surviving on water. And now, thanks to the Alivizatos treatment, I am able to eat again, and I have gained some weight, and I just feel very, very blessed. I believe in quality of life, and this is an alternative treatment that does offer you quality of life. I work full-time. I manage a large company, and I really feel strong now, and I feel like I can go back and give it 100%. I encourage anyone that, whether they have gone through the treatments offered in the States or whether they have not, if they've been diagnosed with cancer, I encourage everyone to at least look at your possibilities, make that phone call. Call and inquire about the Alivizatos treatment, because it is an alternative that will provide you that quality of life, and it will help.
The cancer tumor is the symptom, often the worst symptom, of a total body process. And removing that symptom does not have anything to do with curing the malignant process. It can buy time. Sometimes it will save your life in the short run to do this, but it is not addressing the underlying process. And one of the things the late Dr. Alivizatos did in Greece, among many pioneers out there, was his discovery early in life that he was dealing with a total body process, not a tumor. And he designed a combination of vitamin C and amino acids, which he found to be conjugating into one compound, which would be anti-cancer as well as immune balancing in the body. And that was really the evolution of his particular program.
Fortunately, the original Alivizatos Greek therapy, developed by the late Dr. Harrington Alivizatos, is now available in North America. The treatment procedure is housed at the internationally recognized IBC Hospital and Medical Center, located just across the Mexico border from beautiful San Diego, California. IBC has been recognized for its contribution to the fight against degenerative diseases through its undivided focus on the patient. A high degree of cleanliness and professionalism is a standard hospital component, but IBC gives more, providing the most modern testing and diagnostic equipment, the best dietary support, and the finest staff of resident doctors, licensed, trained, and committed to the lifelong pursuit of holistically healing their patients. from the degenerative conditions that afflict them.
The normal immune system has a surveillance equipment, a surveillance system within it. If the surveillance system fails for any reason, you can develop a disease. Either too much surveillance or very little, you can develop either a cancer process or an autoimmune problem. This treatment, it's been proven throughout many years, since approximately the mid-70s, 1975, that has been proven very effective to control, and in some cases to stop completely the progression of a cancer process of different types. We have seen that it also, because it has an effect over the immune system, the surveillance system, it also has an effect at controlling chronic diseases like diabetes, arthritis, lupus, even chronic infections. The chronic fatigue syndrome has also responded to this treatment. There's no side effects that you will relate to normal cancer treatments, orthodox cancer treatments. You don't lose your hair, you don't suppress your bone marrow, you don't get weak. Actually, you get strong, you recover your appetite, you get a sense of well-being.
No side effects whatsoever, which is a far cry from what I would have been drugged through on the other side of the border. So I cannot say enough about the Alivet treatment. I just think it's a wonderful, wonderful thing. I think there should be more people be able to know about this. I feel very blessed and very fortunate that I was among the few that knew in the beginning, that I never had to go the other route. But I've had a great success. Each time I come down, twice a year, every 6 months, I'm checked. They do all of my pathology, and I've stayed clean. I'm in good health. I feel well. There's virtually nothing I can't do. And just a great success story for me.
I don't have cancer. I am cancer-free at this point. I had small cell or oat cell carcinoma of the lung. Based on what I was told, I guess I should not have been here as of about 18 to 20 months ago. I, like everybody else, probably had a feeling of helplessness and hopelessness. And that's what strikes me about what we do here. By coming here, I felt that I took a lot of responsibility back into my own hands.
Okay.
And alleviated the helplessness. And also, in coming here, I talked to many people that had lived well beyond their life expectancy, which helped alleviate the hopelessness as well. Well, my experience here has been nothing short of wonderful, actually. I feel that there's a lot of camaraderie here amongst the patients. I feel that we're all very hopeful people, and I have, quite frankly, I guess my first trip here, I would consider it to be a true turning point in my healing process.
Taking advantage of the Alivizatos Greek treatment at the IBC hospital has been made simple through an on-site network of English-speaking coordinators and staff members. Patients and their companions make their way.
Gloom. Here in Mexico, you receive hope.
And the last several years has been great, and I normally only have to come back in November, and the only reason I do come back in November is Wisconsin winters are pretty cold, and since I've been taking this treatment, hell, I don't get a cold, I don't get the flu, nothing. And I've got nothing but good to say about the Alivizatos treatment, and I'll stand on the pinnacle of the highest church steeple and holler it as loud as I can.
I have not been sick. One day I lead as normal a life as I did before I came down with the cancer. Last summer, my oncologist at home said that he guaranteed that I would not have had the quality of life that I have had I gone the traditional route with chemotherapy. And I've been more than satisfied with my treatment, and I just recommend it for everybody. I think it's a wonderful thing.
We encourage you to call or visit to find out more on how the Alivizatos Greek treatment can make a difference for you.